If you only knew the power of the dark side.
Luther, can we get the Envenom off on him? Can we get the kill? Yes, we can. And now Sergeant Hammer should be our next target. Get her! Get her, boys! Enemy Sergeant Hammer in a ton of trouble. She is going to fall. Wow, we catch the enemy Kael'Thas way out of position here, and he is going to get toasted. Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's episode of the Daily Rotation. Today, we are going to be going over the newest hero in Blizzard's Heroes of the Storm, and that is Kael'Thas. He is a fire mage from World of Warcraft, a very favorable character. I believe he's from the Burning Crusade. And I've played him out quite a bit, at least within the last few days. I really wanted to make you guys a video on launch day for him. I really try hard to do things like that. Unfortunately, I had a lot of personal things going on that just really wouldn't allow me to make that happen. And so instead of just rushing the video out, since I had already missed the first 2 days, I decided to kind of level him up a little bit, unlock the cool white skin tint that I really like, and then give you guys a better showcase of what I have found with Kael'Thas. Because if you guys don't know, I don't just go and pick up builds and take them from other people. You know, I often find inspiration from playing against people and looking at what they built as. But with a new hero, what I like to do is basically go over, and we can take a look at his talents. I like to just try all of the talents for the most part. And if I look through them here, there are only a handful that I have not tried with Kael'Thas. So these are my thoughts on him so far before we go into our abilities. You guys can feel free and skip directly to the match if you want, but this is where I'm going to be covering most of his mechanics and how I have found works to play with him, because I really have to concentrate hard to play with him, because he's not necessarily my favorite playstyle in a hero. So I have to work a lot harder to make sure I do things correctly and I'm in the correct position. So basically with Kael'Thas, he has super high burst potential, really high burst potential, and even higher in certain situations, in AoE situations, I should specify. Basically, you know, if there's a group of enemy heroes that are kind of clumped up together, you will get a lot more damage off versus just bursting down one enemy hero. The problem with Kael'Thas is he has no mobility. He is slow. He has nothing to move around unless you pick up Bolt of the Storm at level 20. So his positioning is of the utmost importance. When you hear people say that playing as Jaina, you need really good positioning, you need better positioning with Kael'Thas. Jaina has her slow and a lot of abilities to help her get away from confrontation. Kael'Thas has nothing but a stun, which helps, but honestly, it doesn't usually help enough, depending on who you're going up against. So that stun is the only thing that he has to help him get away, and a lot of times you're using it to initiate to get your burst damage in. So using it as your escape isn't always an option if you've already used it to do a little bit of damage. Let's go over his abilities real quick here. His Q ability is Flame Strike. Well, let me start with his trait here. It'll make it so much easier. His trait is Verdant Spears. Make your next basic ability more powerful. So it kind of augments it or empowers the ability to do more than what it normally would. So, and it has a very low cooldown, so you'll be using it a lot. You should be using it a lot, I should say. So his Q ability, the Flame Strike, is a very small AoE damage, but if you empower it, it becomes a larger AoE. It can hit an entire minion wave. So actually, I think it is smaller than Jaina's, I believe. I'd have to play her again to know for sure what the size difference is, but when you empower it, it gets bigger and it does more damage. The W ability is Living Bomb. This is the one that I started focusing on as an early Kael'Thas player because it's very easy to land. You just target, click, and that's it. And what it does is damage over time, and then it explodes at the end of its damage over time. When you empower it, you can cast it twice in a row. If you cast it twice in a row on the same hero, it'll just immediately ignite the first one. So it won't do maximum damage if you just throw it on a hero 2 times really fast. But it does work fairly well in those situations just to do a lot of burst damage, because let's be honest, people don't usually stand around and wait for you to throw out your second living bomb. And his E ability is Gravity Lapse. It throws out a tornado and throws them up in the air, and it's considered a stun. It's a stun for 1.5 seconds. It's really good. I mean, it's a really good stun because when you empower it, you can stun up to 3 targets. Now, I haven't seen it too many times because it fires in a straight line, so chances of you hitting 3 enemy heroes that are all lined up perfectly is probably slim, but I don't empower it that often, so I can't say for sure. I would like to work more on focusing a build that really utilizes the gravity lapse and see if I can make him more of a crowd control damage person versus just burst damage. But I haven't really had enough experience to talk on that. It's basically used to throw people up in the air, drop all your crap on them, burst them down as fast as possible, and then just leave. And then he has two pretty fun heroics. He has Phoenix, which kind of works like Tychus's laser drill. It works really well for zoning people. When you throw it out, though, it does damage on impact. So I think it's, in my opinion, it's better than the laser because it can't be destroyed. It does damage on impact. And at level 20, you can actually pick up a talent to relocate it, which basically just allows you to recast the same spell again within a short period of time. And then his other heroic is Pyroblast. This one is the kind of love-hate heroic of Kael'Thas. It does incredible amounts of damage, like insane amounts of damage. It takes 2 seconds to cast, and it travels very slowly to the target. It'll travel to the ends of the earth, but unfortunately, sometimes people can recall before it gets to them. They can, if they get back into their base and are at their spawn point, it's not going to hurt them. Or what happens a lot of times, which I've seen, is this Kael'Thas is sitting in the background. He's getting his Pyroblast ready, right? Okay, and so he finally shoots it off. He's like, I'm gonna get that kill on Jim Raynor. He's totally my kill. And then all of a sudden, somebody else from the friendly team comes in and kills Jim Raynor, and then your Pyroblast was just completely useless, and you wasted the last 2 seconds of your team fight going like this. You know, so that's the problem with Pyroblast, is it's a very difficult ability to land and be satisfied with. However, when it does land, it is very satisfying to watch somebody just blow the frick up. I mean, I've cast it on Sergeant Hammer at full health several times, and it takes out like 70% of her health in most cases, earlier game. So those are all of his abilities. I'm going to talk over his talent, so like I said, just skip this. I generally put an annotation in so that you can skip the overview. This is just a more extensive overview since he is a new hero, and I have messed around with him a lot. So for level 1, Mana Addict I think is probably the best choice because you absolutely need something to help with his mana problems. Otherwise, you'll be out of mana all the time. Otherwise, I played around a lot with Convection. Increases the flame strike damage to enemies' gravity lapse. It only increases by 20%. So every time I've landed this combo, it just was so underwhelming. It's like, oh, that's the damage it did. I landed my combo. I got the flame strike and 2 living bombs, and they're not, you know, they took a little bit more damage than they normally would have. So I don't like it as much as I thought I would have in the beginning. Energy Royal, I haven't picked this one up yet. Gravity lapse cooldown reduces the gravity lapse cooldown per enemy's hit. So this would be something you would pick up if you're going to be empowering your gravity lapse a lot. Because it increases the, well, it increases how many targets you can end up stunning. So if you can only stun one, this is only going to reduce the cooldown by 3 seconds, which is still pretty good. You'll just be able to use it a lot. So this was what I was talking about when I said using a build that focuses a lot on gravity lapse. I may do that in the future, depending on how well it works. And then his last one in this choice is Fell Infusion, activating Verdant Spear's heals. It doesn't heal you for a lot. I mean, it is, if you're going to go with a different direction for mana, like your mana issues, it's not a bad ability. I like it more than Convection, in all honesty, because your health is a major problem in a lot of games. So, you know, it's okay. There's definitely some experimenting that can be done with that. His level 4 talent's Mana Tap. That's what I used to use for the majority of my beginning games. Flame Strike restores mana per enemy killed, so you basically do a little bit of damage to a minion wave, drop Flame Strike, get all your mana back. It does work really, really well. But the problem is these are the competing talents. Netherwind increases gravity lapse, range, and speed, gathering power, and Envenom. I mean, all 3 of those are super good. I personally like Envenom a lot right now. I just started using it in my build, and I probably won't go back. I've used Gathering Power a lot. I've used Netherwind a lot. I like Netherwind more than Gathering Power, I will say that. But Envenom I like the most because you have 2 living bombs and an Envenom on somebody, and that's going to do a ton of damage over time, which will result in a lot of kills while they're running behind their base. And we will go to level 7 here. This is a one that I really wanted to point out, is the Fission Bomb and Sunfire Enchantment. Fission Bomb is the most popular talent from what I've seen, watching what other people build Kael'Thas says. Sunfire Enchantment, I think, is a better talent. And I'll tell you why. And I wasn't sure about it until I tried it in try mode. But what this does is it doesn't take up your trait. When you cast your trait, you can do an auto attack. It does 78 additional damage at level 7. But you can still empower your next ability. So basically, empowering your auto attacks every time you do that to do quite a bit more damage. And this does, okay, if this does 78 damage base, that's it scales. It does 78 damage base. The fission bomb increases by 75%. It only does 30%. It only does 30 damage. That's how big the explosion is. So by 75%, what is that? 22 extra damage. So it's going to increase the damage by about 52 or something. Which, you know, it's not, that's what the total damage is. So it's going, so even if you cast out 2 living bombs, you're only increasing your damage by 44, whereas this is increasing it by 78. Now, the only instance where this is going to do more damage is if your living bombs are chaining off to other people, which I'll get to that talent shortly. And then we have Tri-Optimal. Gravity Lapse reduces your Variant Sphere's cooldown. I'm not a big fan of this because the trait is already... I don't want to say that, because now that this is such a favorable talent, in my opinion, this may not be so bad with a Gravity Lapse build. I'm going to have to try that out. And Clairvoyance, I haven't picked up, but, you know, it's Clairvoyance. It's great for adding vision. Both the Heroics, I already talked about those. Level 13, my favorite one in this section here has been Chain Bomb, because the living bomb explodes and you'll get kills on people that you just would have never got before. I've had times where someone runs up to me while I'm trying to recall and their living bomb goes off and then kills me because it spread to me. It's ridiculous. Pyromaniac, sorry. Living bomb reduces basic ability cooldowns. You know, I've tried it. It didn't seem super great. Spell Shield obviously will add him some more survivability, which, you know, if you're having a really hard time, if you're just getting demolished as Kael'Thas, you know, maybe you're not very good at positioning him yet, maybe pick up a talent like this, just because it'll give you more of an opportunity to learn how to play him. You'll stay in combat a little bit better. So for Spell Shield, I would advise anybody who's having a hard time with him to try picking that up and then moving your way into these damage abilities, because all 3 of these are pretty good. I don't know if you really need the extra range. He does have short range on all of his abilities. So all 3 of these are going to increase your damage. Spell Shield is going to help you stay alive a little bit better. Level 16, he's got a lot of good options here. Ignite is super great because it applies another living bomb on top of enemy heroes that you use your Flame Strike on. Backdraft is really good because it slows people when your living bomb goes off. And then Gravity Throw increases Gravity Lapse stun duration. So this raises it to about 2 seconds, I believe. This is 33%. But what I've been using a lot more is Arcane Barrier, especially because I'm using Mana Addict in the beginning. I have a large pool of mana by the time I'm level 16, and this activates to gain a shield equal to 200% of your maximum mana. So, I mean, I've had a shield that's like 30-40% of my health. It's ridiculous. So it's a really good shield. It adds a ton of survivability to Kael'Thas. There's been a few times where I could have totally saved myself by casting it, and I forgot because I haven't been picking it up a lot lately. But I highly recommend grabbing this. Yes, you will get a little bit more damage from Ignite, but I think that this is worth it. I die so much less with this ability. I think it's worth it. But, you know, like I said, if you're really experienced with Kael'Thas, if you're really good with your positioning, if you really can count on your team, go for additional damage. Level 20, he's got plenty of good talents here. I usually go with Rebirth with the Phoenix because you can cast it twice. I've never really tried this because it increases Pyroblast radius and lowers cooldown per enemy hit. It's so slow, almost everybody avoids it other than the main target. Bolt of the Storm adds a ton of mobility to your character. You can finally get out of places and close the gap between heroes. So Bolt of the Storm is another talent that is very good for anybody who's having a hard time with his low health and low mobility. I mean, it's also good for anybody who's not having a hard time with that because it's Bolt of the Storm. It's one of the best abilities in the game. And then Arcane Power, basically you activate to restore mana and get a little bit of extra damage. So yeah, we're going to jump into a match. Like I said, it's kind of a long overview, but I really wanted to explain those talents because, like I said, I've tried the majority of them. I've tried them in different order. I've tried lots of different things, and the build that I'm going to use today is the one that has been working the best for me. So I hope it helps some of you guys. Please leave feedback. Let me know what you think. I'd love to hear what you guys think about his talents as he's a new hero. So this is a really cool point in the game where we don't have to worry about, this is the build you should be using, this is the best one, when in reality, most characters don't have the build. They have, you know, certain builds that work against certain team comps. But let's jump into a match and see how we can do today. Alright, and here we are today on the Tomb of the Spider Queen, with the friendly team of Azmodan, Malfurion, myself as Kael'Thas, Uther, and Vala. The enemy team with a Uther of their own, Sonja, Azmodan, a false Kael'Thas, MFPallytime's in my match, and Sergeant Hammer. It's freaking Pallytime. He's in my match. I have never seen him before because I never play in the daytime. I'm going to be going with Mana Addict. That, sorry. It basically helps. It'll help your mana issues. I used to pick up Mana Tap, but at level 4 he has so many better abilities, or talents I should say, to pick up. So, and you need something to help with his mana problem. So the only thing to note about picking up this talent is you gotta collect regen orbs. MFPallytime is here. I know somebody on my team must know who he is. Okay, we got a Sergeant Hammer and an Uther down here. Now we're left all by our lonesome, so we're just gonna step back and just play things nice and safe and careful. That's what you gotta do with Kael'Thas. Thankfully, Sergeant Hammer can be a very easy target for me. Let's throw out a few living bombs and not much else. I thought I got a flame strike down. Perhaps I did. I just didn't see the animation. And then we'll just sit here and we'll poke at this lane, try to get this stuff down. It's going to make it very hard to get those gems with Sergeant Hammer, though. What do you think, Malfurion? What do you think? Let's see if we can come in here, pick up a... Oh, we are going to get stunned by the enemy Uther. We're going to throw him up in a gravity lapse and try to do as much burst damage as we can, and then just fall back. This is going to suck. We got to be able to do something about that Sergeant Hammer. We really got to be able to do something about that Sergeant Hammer. So we'll throw down our Flame Strike here and try to pick up this stuff. Let's see. Okay, we are going to get annihilated by that hammer, unfortunately. And there we are, once again, stuck in the back here. I can pick up these gems. Let's see. We'll throw out the gravity lapse, and then we're going to try to blow up some of her mines so that we can get up and turn in those gems when we need to. Let's throw down another Flame Strike. Where are you going, Malfurion? Where are you going? You're just going to leave me here? Alright, so Malfurion left to go, maybe help gank or give some support in that middle lane. And I am just going to have to just hang out down here. I really don't want to engage too hard on that Sergeant Hammer. But there we go. Now we can latch her in our combo, get plenty of damage out, but just not quite enough to do anything because the enemy Uther is able just to pick her straight up. Now we have plenty of... Okay, now nobody's in the middle lane. Now nobody's in the middle lane! Come, 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 come. Come. Alright, we're going to throw down that Flame Strike there and start trying to push this wave back. We definitely don't want that going on. And now Uther and Vala have returned here. There he is. I just think it's weird. I've been playing this game for a long time. I know he's been playing the game for a long time, and I've never played a match with him. So let's go and just continue to clear up this lane. Gank. Who do you want to gank? You want to gank Sergeant Hammer? Ah, man, I'd love to. Level 4, I'm going to be picking up Envenom. This is going to give us some more burst damage on this enemy. Okay. Uther put a stop to that real quick. Let's see what we can do. We can throw Uther up, get an Envenom out on him, and try to do so much damage to Uther that he's not able to protect that Sergeant Hammer as well. That was kind of the idea, but since everybody else was focusing on Sergeant Hammer, we just kind of split our damage and effectively wasted that ganking opportunity. Partially my fault. I just felt like Uther was going to save her butt. That's what I thought. Let's see. We're going to throw out that. We're going to throw out our gravity lapse. It isn't going to hit anything but a stupid darn minion. But hey, look at that. We finally pushed this lane back. We can even collect these gems. And you know, we got 14 of these bad boys right now. We got 14 of these bad boys. So, I'm sure I mentioned it in the intro, but basically the way Kael'Thas works is he has a trait that allows him to empower abilities. And whenever you empower an ability, it will give it a different attribute. So, like when I empower my Living Bomb, I get to cast it out twice. Let's throw a few of those out there. Unfortunately, Uther he just negates it every time. I can't do anything about it. I mean, we can sit here and just fight them. We can just fight them, but I can't do anything to that Sergeant Hammer with Uther guarding her. So that's really, really disappointing. Maybe somebody can help before she starts doing too much damage here. We're going to throw a couple of those on there, get the Envenom out on her. Oh, and nothing. Nothing. We get nothing. Almost had Hammer. Now we're going to recall Malfurion's back to collect some of that XP that we were gone for, and then we'll cruise down here. We are a little bit behind on gems, just by 1 at the moment. So, of course, I could turn in and change that. It just doesn't seem necessary. The enemy team turning in even more coins. I am sensing a web weaver coming in real soon. Let's see if we can stop that Sergeant Hammer from turning in. Looks like Malfurion was able to do that, and now we're going to throw out everything we can on her. But once again, being shielded up by Uther is not going to do anything to be able to turn those in. So then we'll sit here. All right, now we're going to have to fall back. Somebody, come on. Don't let them turn in. Don't let them turn in. Oh, the darn mines. I'm going to be picking up Sunfire Enchantment. I have found that it does more damage than than the extra damage you'll get from 2 living bombs. So it's just not worth... Okay, everybody back off. The enemy web weavers are coming down, and we thankfully get pushed back by the enemy Sergeant Hammer, so she saved us right there. She saved us for sure. Let's throw out the W on Uther. And, hey, look at that. We got somebody else who could do damage down. Okay. Maybe with Vala here, we can actually take somebody down. That's what I'm hoping. Let's see. We can... okay, we're going to die. Goodbye. Goodbye, world. The entire enemy team is down in the bottom lane. Come on. They are all bot. Why they are killing these things off one at a time is beyond me. Usually what you want to do is try to group up and kill them one at a time very quickly so that the enemy team can't do what they're about to do and just bunch up and destroy this. But we are on our way. We are certainly on our way. I don't know if we'll be able to do anything about it. Let's throw down our Flame Strike on top of these guys. See if we can catch somebody in a Gravity Lapse. We do get Uther, and we get the Envenom off on him. Can we get the kill? Yes, we can. And now Sergeant Hammer should be our next target. Get her! Get her, boys! Oh, nice job by the friendly team. Do you see what happens when people come together and start working together? No, Azmodan should be our next priority target as he is pushing down our middle fort. And now our... Okay, he's on the run. We can't get to him in time. We do get the extra gems. We do get those few gems. It looks like the enemy team is trying to contest down here. Let's come in here and see what we can do with this guy. We're going to throw him up in the air, use our Flame Strike, and a nice stun by the enemy. Uther is going to do quite a bit of damage, but his friendly Azmodan was able to really stop me from pursuing too hard there, as I was mostly worried about just getting the heck out of there. Pallytime does have quite a few gems, though, so I wouldn't mind getting the kill on him, or at least somebody getting the kill on him. The web weavers are now spawning, so I'm going to try to group up with my team. Let's just come in here and help that lane push a little bit by itself. And the enemy Sonya is way out of position, so she is going to die, spinning into her death. Let's let Azmodan push that top lane, come in here, get a few of those out on top of the enemy Sergeant Hammer with the Envenom. It is going to push her back, and we are going to get a kill with a nice slam dunk by the friendly Azmodan. I'm going to be picking up Phoenix. I think that's the best heroic, even though Pyroblast would be awesome against that Sergeant Hammer. But now what we can do is throw Phoenix right there, and that is going to force them back a lot. They really can't do a lot. The enemy team throwing out their Phoenix is going to stop our pursuit just slightly, but that's okay, because now we're down. Look out, look out. Go, run, 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 run! They see me! Oh, as Kael'Thas, you do not want to be out of position ever. Let's empower our Q to do a little bit of extra damage there. I don't like this. I don't like this at all. The enemy team is in a great position to gank me, and I don't like that. I do not like that. Although it's just Uther up here at the moment. Oh, he got me first! He got me first! It looks like we're actually doing a pretty good job of pushing this lane down. Let's come out here, get a couple living bombs on there. That should finish off that fort, and then what I'm going to do is just fall the frick back. Actually, you know what? Can anybody help me with that? Uh-oh, lots of members of the enemy team. Let's throw out our Phoenix to help some people escape. I think we should get out of here. We should we should get. All right, that's fine. We'll throw her up in a Gravity Lapse, use our Envenom, and we are just out of mana. So we are unable to do a whole lot there. So let's just continue to fall back. It's not a big deal. I think we should grab this camp right here, though. I think some map control could help us a lot. Looks like Malfurion is on his way. I will be on my way shortly here. Right now, the enemy team, they certainly have a little bit more map presence as far as their waves pushing. So if we can grab this camp here, let's come in here, drop down the Flame Strike. Of course, we did empower it, so it has a larger AoE. I don't know if I mentioned that in the match. And then, like I said, Living Bomb, you get to cast it out twice. Now, if you empower your Gravity Lapse, you can snag multiple targets in your stun. Hello, Sergeant Hammer. Let's throw out our Phoenix. You know what? I just feel like you might as well use it whenever you got a good chance to use it because it has such a short cooldown. I'm coming. I'm coming, Uther. I'm coming. All right, let's... Okay, no. Yeah, let's just grab it real quick. Let's just grab it real quick. We're already down here. I mean, it looks like there are a few of them up there, but if they're up there, that means they're not down here, and we can continue to just grab this camp real quick. So as you can see, my auto attack did significantly more damage than it normally does after I empower it. It does about 270 damage right now. The extra explosion damage you get from picking up the fission bomb trait. Okay, come on. We gotta go help the friendly team. We could actually just turn in, I guess, and pick up our next talent, which is going to be Chain Bomb. Now, when our living bomb explodes, it'll spread to any nearby targets. Oh, Sergeant Hammer getting a little bit of damage off on me, but she isn't going to stop me from turning in, so that's fantastic. Let's throw out our living bomb, and that should have spread to other people, but I think the thing died just too darn fast. So as you can see, the enemy team is having to deal with our mercenaries, and that kind of gives us an opportunity to continue to turn in these gems. The enemy team way ahead on us on gems right now, so we're doing whatever we can to prevent that. Surprisingly, they have not picked up their bruiser camp yet. It's a little scary. Let's come up in here, throw that down. We'll kind of fall back into our minion wave. It looks like quite a little bit of a spiff is happening down here, so we are going to come and join. There we go. He didn't have all of his coins, though. And we're going to throw out the living bomb on the enemy Sergeant Hammer. Here we go, baby! Here we go! Here we go! And we do take down the enemy Uther. Now Azmodan thinking about... oh, no, you know what? Quick. They're not going quick. Oh. Gotta be fast. They're all going to be respawning in just a second. We could have turned in at a different point. All right, let's start engaging on the boss. Here we have Vala that's tanking it a little bit here, surprisingly. The enemy team is all now respawning. They got to know that we're here. So we got to kill this thing very fast. Come on, baby! Come on! All right, I'm going to come down here a little bit so we can throw out the Phoenix to zone them out if they show up. Doesn't look like they are going to make it in time, though. And then I am going to come and clear up this mess a little bit. There we go. Pick up all them gems. All right, we're going to come and turn in here. Things are going pretty fantastic at the moment with the boss pushing, and this is going to actually be enough for another set of web weavers on top of our boss. So let's come in here. Let's throw that down, and we're going to completely waste our gravity laps, but that's okay. Let's throw out Envenom on the enemy Azmodan to try to get him off Uther's back, and then we're just kind of hanging out down here. What I think I'm going to do, maybe let them deal with that boss and come and clean up this wave here real quick. We'll throw out a living bomb that should spread around and help kill these guys real quick so that our lane can push. Push, lane, push! And then I'm going to swing down here. I'm just going to try to get these lanes pushing back as hard as possible while we have our web weavers, since the enemy team is very distracted at the moment. Come on, where's that next minion wave? We just want to throw that down. A living bomb, pick up the gems, and now go and head up to the friendly team. I really like Ignite. I really like Backdraft. I think Arcane Barrier is a smart move, though. Let's throw out the Phoenix here, which should do enough damage to kill the enemy Sonya. We're going to throw out a couple living bombs on the enemy Uther, which is going to secure that kill. Throw out the Flame Strike, and here we come. Here we come, baby. Here we come. Doing that extra auto attack damage to the enemy Sergeant Hammer. Oh, boy. Let's throw down our Flame Strike, and let's see if we can get any more damage on her. No, we cannot. I say we come down to this lane here as our spider is still pushing, so this is a much easier lane to push for. And as you can see, we're doing a pretty good job. We're doing a pretty good job pushing this lane since we still have that up, and then we can come and collect out them tasty, tasty gems. All right, so here comes the enemy. Kael'Thas is now engaging. Let's throw out... Oh, man, he's in a bunch of trouble. He's in a bunch of trouble. Can we get Envenom off on him? Oh, I think we got Envenom off, which may be enough to secure the kill. We could die ourselves, though. Continue to fall back. Oh! Oh, I'm so dumb. I'm so dumb. I didn't use my Arcane Barrier, which would have saved my life 100 times over. And we actually didn't get the kill on the enemy Kael'Thas. He certainly looked like he was going to die, so I'm assuming he got a heal from one of his friends. Azmodan turning in a good chunk of gems down there, and Uther and Malfurion both collecting those siege golems. You can take a look. We're actually doing top hero damage, which is fantastic. Fantastic. This is going pretty well so far. Pretty well. If I don't sound as excited as normal or as engaged as normal, it's because I have to concentrate really hard playing with Kael'Thas. He's not He's not particularly my favorite hero. I think he's really great, does a lot of damage, but his playstyle isn't my favorite, so I end up concentrating a lot harder than I normally would. I just wanted to throw that out if anybody's wondering why I may sound a little less enthused at times, although this has been pretty exciting, I think. We do get totally slammed by the enemy Azmodan. We're going to throw out our Phoenix, pop our barrier, see if we can catch the enemy Kael'Thas, but no, we cannot. We're in a bunch of trouble right now. We're going to throw out Envenom, a nice heal by our friendly Uther, and we're going to throw down that Flame Strike, get a living bomb out. There we go, baby. We're pushing them back. We're pushing them back. It's not going real well. It's not going real well. Okay, okay. We got to get back to this well before Sergeant Hammer explodes us into a million frickin' pieces. Now we can start to re-engage enemy Sergeant Hammer in a ton of trouble. She is going to fall. Wow, we have no health. Thank you, Uther. That living bomb would have killed me without doubt. Let's take this one down. This one is dangerous. This is really dangerous. All right, they're going to go up there. That's fine. I can take this one down all by myself, and I'll actually be able to collect all these coins as well as stop this thing from breaking down our wall. Looks like Uther also came and helped with that, so that is excellent. And we have cleaned up 3 members of the enemy team. We could possibly grab that. I wouldn't feel comfortable doing it without a good chunk of people with me, though. Let's come in here, pick up a few more gems, and then turn those in. Looks like Uther has 13. He is going straight for that camp. I'm going to turn these in first, though. Yeah, they're all up now, buddy. I was hoping more people would come. We actually get our web weavers, so up here in the top, the friendly team had plenty of gems to come out. We're going to throw out our Phoenix and help zone for the enemy, or help zone for the friendly team. Try to get Envenom off on the enemy Sonya. That is going to be enough to take her down. And now we can come up here and try to catch the enemy Kael'Thas in a gravity lapse. Oh, shoot! Oh, shoot! Keep running, baby. Keep running. Okay, Sergeant Hammer's down there. The friendly team doing an excellent job of keeping me alive. Thank you to Malfurion. Let's come and get a couple living bombs on the enemy Kael'Thas. Is it enough? Yes, it is! Oh, that's close. Okay, okay. Step out of the range. I want his gems. I want his frickin' gems. There we go. We are not able to catch Sergeant Hammer, and we are going to just continue to push this enemy team back into oblivion. Sergeant Hammer getting caught in a nice ultimate by the friendly Uther. Holy crap, who are your friends? Who are your enemies? That is a good question. She is going to knock me down, though. And then let's just throw this thing down right here. This is going to allow us to sit here and push this lane a little bit, and they can't really come out to say hi. How does that sound, enemy team? How does that sound? Let's come here. Let's drop down that Flame Strike. Use our shield just in case. Yeah, maybe now's not a good time. I say we go up to this one. We can help clear up this top keep here and get that core exposed in another lane. I'm going to be picking up Rebirth, Bolt to the Storm, an excellent choice talent, but since I grabbed the shield, I feel like that's enough for survivability, especially in this game. And Rebirth is just going to increase the amount of damage that we're able to do. Oh, there's an enemy Sonya there. I didn't even notice you. I didn't even notice you. Come here, Sonya. Sonya, come here. All right. Sonya, come here. Come here, Sonya. All right, we do get a couple living bombs off on her. She doesn't want to engage too fast, though. And we're... Okay, they're calling recall. I'm going to... But it's dead, though. It's dead. I need to take it down. It had to go. I'm sorry, it had to go. The slam dunk completely way off. So fantastic, fantastic. The friendly team is all gathering around this boss area. Why are we all gathering around the boss? I don't know. Are we trying to bait them into a team fight or what? The friendly Uther is in lots of trouble, so we are all on our way. We can possibly catch the enemy Kael'Thas way out of position here, and he is going to get toasted. All right, so now we are starting to push back this enemy team. Perhaps we can pick up that boss. Oh, a nice stun by the friendly Uther. We are going to come and just clean up that Azmodan. All right, come on, get closer. We got plenty of damage that we can be doing with this Phoenix. So now we can sit here and push, and that enemy team is in a really rough spot. We can actually relocate the Phoenix over to here, making it even easier and more difficult for Sergeant Hammer to do anything about this wrecking ball that is coming through to her hometown. So, I mean, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. I didn't talk a lot about his... I don't know. I don't feel like I went over his strategies really well. Let's come over here and see if we can get that Sergeant Hammer locked up in the air. Throw down a Flame Strike. She is going to push me back, but we're going to let her know the game is over. Good game, friends. We can take a look. So we did do top hero damage, 20 and 2. It's, you know, fairly good. We actually did a lot of siege damage, which is nice. It's one thing I've noticed with Kael'Thas is I don't always feel like his siege damage is anything to brag about. It's not necessarily bad by any means, but it's usually not as spectacular as Jaina is. So it was nice to see his siege damage up there without having to sacrifice any of that hero damage. Really looking at this match, I mean, that was really interesting. I thought that maybe, I guess as far as team compositions, I like there's a little bit more because I think Sergeant Hammer can be very strong. And at the beginning of that game, you saw how Uther was protecting her and she was really starting to push in hard. Basically, she just wasn't able to do enough to turn the tide of battle, and I can't really speak a lot on that. But yeah, that's it, guys. I really hope you guys enjoyed. I've tried really hard to get a Kael'Thas video out. Unfortunately, on patch day, I had a lot of personal stuff going on. I wasn't really able to play them. And then I wanted to get him at least to level 7 so that I could use the white skin tint. So, as I said, he's not necessarily my favorite hero. I think he's very good. I don't think he's overpowered at all at the moment. From what I've seen, he's very easy to shut down. Very easy to shut down. But he can be very strong. Very, very strong, especially in competitive play when you have a team that can work around him. But if you have a team that's not protecting you and is not allowing you to hang out in the back and do your damage, it can be really unfun playing Kael'Thas at time in quick match. So, though he does do a lot of damage. He has great burst potential. His mechanics for his abilities is by far one of the most fun setups that I've seen in Heroes of the Storm, because you can empower those different abilities, and you kind of, even if me and the enemy Kael'Thas were the exact same build, we would have played completely different based on what we were empowering most likely. So he's a very fun hero. I mean, if you guys if it looks interesting to you, I'd highly recommend picking him up. If you don't like heroes that don't have a lot of survivability and can't do a lot on their own, you know, maybe wait till Kael'Thas is free some week to try him out. That's what I would suggest. He is a very team-dependent, very high damage hero. I hope you guys enjoy. I'll hopefully get some more videos out here soon. I am going to start doing my Let's Play of The Witcher 3, as I have been a Witcher fan since the first Witcher. I'm really excited about it, but that's going to be taking up most of my video time. Otherwise, you know, I'll try to get back to Heroes videos in between those play sessions of The Witcher. Until next time, guys, and sorry for the long rant at the end here.